If you own a portable generator, do yourself a favor, build a generator shed. Let me show you how I built mine, the one thing I do differently than most people, and some of the smart home tech that I incorporated for safety and security. The generator shed offers a lot of conveniences. You don't have to store this under your workbench anymore. It's always at the ready. All you have to do, run the cord to your house, flip some breakers, and you're watching reruns of Bonanza again. This will keep your investment safe, dry, and out of the weather. And another big plus, noise reduction. A typical open frame generator runs over 90 decibels. Listen to that for 2 days and that'll drive you nuts. The proper generator shed will reduce that to around 70 decibels. And another big plus, you can place this further away from your home, reducing the sound even more. Let me start by saying all the parts you're about to see I paid for myself. I'll put a link in the description down below for each one so that you can conveniently go in there and check them out for yourself. Also, if you please hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. The like button as well if you like this video. And if you have any comments or questions, leave them down below and I'll answer them as quickly as possible. Let's talk about the shed itself. If you have the talent, I'm sure you could build yourself a nice shed. As for me, if I tried to build this, it would look like some crooked old outhouse in the middle of the woods somewhere. So I decided to go with this Suncast prefab. Only took about 30 minutes to put together. First thing you need to consider is the fan to remove the hot air that this generator is going to create. Make sure you get one that is purpose built. I'm using an ILiving 12-inch fan. It comes completely assembled. It's got a ball bearing motor and it moves 960 cubic feet of air per minute. So that should turn the air over in this many times, and includes the grates on the outside. The other thing that is included with this fan is a thermostat. It has two controls. One controls the fan motor speed, which you're going to want to keep on high. The important one is the temperature control up top. I'll explain that in just a minute. Then directly on the other side, you're going to want to install the fresh air intake. This is a 12 by 14 inch grate. I believe it was around $10 or $12. Very inexpensive. I just cut the hole out, mounted the grate. Same with the fan. Just cut the hole out, mounted the fan, and that end was done. As far as how you want to mount your fan and your intake grate, if you notice, my fan is mounted high since heat rises, and it's also mounted directly above the exhaust just in case there's a problem. On the intake side, I have that 12 by 14 grate that is directly in line with the generator. So as that fan removes the air, it's going to pull that nice cool fresh air over the generator, keeping it cool and supplying the carburetor with fresh air. Here's the one thing I do differently than most people with generator sheds. Most people will plug that fan directly into the generator and it will run while that generator is running, and that works great, I'm sure. My concern is the cool down period after you shut this thing off and your utility power is back on. I run a extension cord from the thermostat to my house. Now that fan is running off my house, whether the house is being powered by the generator or by the utility. When I shut this generator off, I don't need to open this back to the elements. That fan will continue to run and it will provide a proper cool down period for the generator itself. Now I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I have a little light on the top of mine. Well, the position of my shed in my yard, when I do switch back to utility power and I have this fan plugged in, I can't see the grates on the side from inside my house, so I can't tell if the fan's running or not. So I bought a 110 volt LED flashing light that I mounted up there, and that will flash and let me know that this fan is on or off. I took the thermostat, I ran a splitter, and I run the fan cord in here, that little green light here. Now every time that comes on and powers the fan, it's going to power that green light. I can look out and see it flashing or not flashing and tell whether or not this fan is on or off. A crucial step in building this generator shed is removing the exhaust from inside. You do not want to let this exhaust just run inside the box and count on this fan removing it. Make sure that you have an adequate exhaust port to remove this exhaust. I am using a 1-inch exhaust extension kit. You can see this pipe down here. It goes over the tailpipe of the exhaust and it runs directly outside. Then as a backup, I have a 4-inch vent pipe that I place an end cap on. I cut a hole in the center so that I can get it over that extension pipe, and I place some very strong magnets that I got off of Amazon on the inside. Now, this just goes over the exhaust and snaps onto that heat shield, and it doesn't move. Another plus to this is this internal pipe on the exhaust extension is going to run over 300 degrees. It's going to exit out the side, but it's going to create a lot of heat. So if you do put this on here, now with that pipe running through this one, temperature on this one is only running at about 90 degrees. So it's creating a lot less heat inside, and it's still exiting the exhaust out the side. Another plus to this setup, in the event that 1-inch extension pipe fails or happens to fall off, that exhaust is still going to run out that 4-inch tube and still exit to the outside. As far as this exhaust port going through this plastic, again, that's a 4-inch pipe. I cut a 6-inch hole through the plastic itself. I then placed concrete backer board on the inside and the outside. Since I have that 2-inch space now around that pipe, I filled that in with a high temp insulation. I never have to worry about this plastic melting. Now let's talk about insulation. There are many types of insulation you can use on this. What I chose is sound deadening insulation that is generally used in music studios or in your theater room in your house. It will not catch on fire. It will melt if it gets too close to something, but it's just not that close, so I don't have to worry about that. But it is great for sound retention. On the underside of the lid, I used a fireproof insulation. Since heat rises, I wanted to make sure that this lid was safe. This is actually made of a spun ceramic and will not burn. Very high temperature, and it's still lightweight, so it doesn't add a lot of weight to the lid. Now, as you can see, I'm running the Westinghouse generator. It does have electric and remote start. If your generator has electric start, naturally you want to keep this battery at full charge. So off of Amazon, I got a solar trickle charger. I run it right down to the battery. It keeps the battery fully charged, but won't overcharge it. I also added a little smart home technology to this build. Let me show you what I did. So to keep an eye on what the temperature is inside this box, I placed a Switchbot smart thermometer in here. They are very inexpensive. I think they're around $20. You put the app on your phone, and this will send an accurate temperature reading to your phone every 4 seconds, so you could just look and tell what the temperature and the humidity is inside this box. And this Switchbot thermometer comes with a magnetic base on the back. Stick to any part and give you an accurate reading of the temperatures. Also in the app, I can set parameters. So using round figures, let's say this shed's running at 85 degrees, I can set that to send me a warning at 95 degrees if the temperature is starting to increase inside this box. That'll allow me time to come out here and check, see maybe if the fan is not working or the intake side is blocked up. Now, as far as security goes, I have a Ring security system in my house that's tied in with my smart home. I put a door window sensor on the lid and door. So now anytime anyone opens this box, I'm going to get an instant notification, and I can check my cameras to see who's messing with this thing. Between the hours of 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. when it's dark, I have my smart home set up so that if someone opens this box, it's going to not only send me a notification, it's going to turn all my exterior lights on in the backyard to 100%. I also have a Bluetooth speaker mounted here for music out in my back patio, and that's going to make an announcement stating that you are on camera. Please leave the property. We are calling the authorities. A quick tip to keep your generator secure from theft, and it doesn't cost a dime. My generator, the axle nut, goes directly through the wheel, through the frame, and has a pin on the other side. Simply place something like a brick underneath the frame to keep your generator level, and take this wheel off and place it in your garage. That's going to make it very difficult for somebody to move this thing around on one wheel. Also, this particular generator with a full tank of fuel weighs around 300 pounds. If I come driving down the road and see a guy with this thing strapped on his back, I am definitely calling the police because I'm not messing with him. All I did was place some leveling sand on the ground, some 24 by 24 blocks, and here she sits, ready to go. It's also about 40 feet away from my home, so that reduces the noise even further. If you live in an area that gets a lot of snowfall each year, you may have a concern that this air intake is a little too low, may get clogged up with some of those heavy snowstorms you get. Press that bell icon because I'm going to post another video soon on how to actually build a baffle on the side so that the air intake is up here, but this is still in place, creating cool air over that generator. Stay tuned. There you have it. That's how I built my generator shed. You could build one too. In fact, if you order the parts in advance, you can build this in just one day. I want to say thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. I'll see you on the next video.